Zoom time, people. Playing 4 tables of 10NL Zoom on PokerStars. We get 3-bet and then check 2. Not flush draw. I'm probably going to fire out here. Usually, like, for them to check on that board is either super strong or very weak. If it gets checked to us again, obviously we can check behind now. But that's, yeah, interesting way that they played that hand. Just be talking through the different hands that I play, hopefully get into some tricky spots, get some value, stack some people, standard stuff, hopefully. It's pretty easy in theory, right? King 7, Queen 10. Against some that we don't have any information about, I'm usually just folding. I like to open with hands like 4, 6 every now and then suited under the gun. Because it, helps us balance our opening range, so we're not always opening with ace king suited or better, etc. And it just flops well multi-way. 6s, this is a marginal, maybe a fold, maybe a call. I think we can call here. Obviously great flop. It's just difficult because we don't know if this player is going to try and isolate with the 6s behind, and obviously we're not getting deep stacked value. Obviously we can go ahead and raise here. I'll make it just under 3 times the bet. Here we can just fire out again. I don't know if I feel like potting it is fine here to put them all in, because I feel like they're going to call with a flush draw now anyway, since they've committed so much. And if they have ace jack, they're probably not folding it. So, I mean, we could bet 2, but what's the point, right? And if they do fold, then so be it. But I feel like any flush draw or jack X hand's calling, especially king jack, jack 10 even, all that sort of stuff. Even ace king suited. So they definitely had nothing. So you could argue, I guess, betting half pot for them to shove, but they wouldn't, like, they're not going to over shove, knowing that they're only min shoving as a bluff. Queen jack, we can isolate here, but I think we'll wait for a better spot with more information on our villain. Seems pretty nitty, but it's really about not getting too creative and crazy at this limit. It's about playing your opponents and putting them on a range and going with the read rather than 3-betting light on the button against an opponent who you really don't know if they're going to be calling with, anything there. We do have position, obviously. Here with the king, ace king offsuit, I feel like his button range is quite weak here. It could be ace queen, it could be ace jack suited. So I feel like we're going to put in a decent sized 4-bet. We probably will get it in. We probably will get it in if we get 5-bet or whatever, but I just feel like that player on the button's doing that very wide. Checking with the pair of jacks and deuces there. Ship it. 7 deuce is a fold. Just trying to plow through hands to get different spots. When obviously we're using the check fold button, probably only when we're definitely folding, even to a min raise. For example, like a jack 10 in the big blind, I'm never using the check fold button. I sort of starting to respect more under the gun raises, even though it's pretty borderline depending on what hand I have. We can isolate this nit. Well, it looks to be a nitty player. Let's try do that. Ace 8 out of position suited is a fold. We can check. I feel like ace high is really good against this player's range, and if they want to bet, I'm probably going to call once. I feel like checking is fine again. We really wanted to isolate them, not try and bet them off a hand. So now they could have hit with their king 10. It's very rare that we can get them to fold king 10 on that board when we see bet, so I think we can just give the hand up. King 9 is definitely a raise on the button. Ace 7 off. Probably not. This player is looking to isolate. Usually they're isolating pretty wide. So we can go ahead and 3-bet, which works. King 9. This board is okay for us to c-bet on. Jack 8 will be a steal attempt. King Jack, yeah, they're pretty nitty according to my poker tracker stats, so we'll definitely open with the King Jack off. Four fives a fold. Pocket sixes, obviously we'll be flatting the under the gun razor here, getting multi-way odds if we flop a set. King deuce is okay. I mean, we're just obviously beat by any higher pocket pair. Flush draws will continue. We just want to check, keep control of the pot. The 7 is fine. I mean, when we get let out like this, I think we're safe to just give the hand up, though. We don't need to get too tricky and feel like our 6s are best with someone to act behind. And they know leading out on that turn that the 7 didn't really help them, more than likely, and they've already had a made hand. And they're probably not betting a flush draw either. Folding that. Queen 6 will be a fold unless it's min raised. Ace deuce here will be a call to a min raise. We're just flatting with 4s. This player hasn't folded to 3-bet pre over a small sample, I know, but still. Yeah, we're just smooth call with the ace deuce. We can check fold that board with the 4s, I believe. They're c-betting a lot, though, but there's just so many draws, and even ace queen, ace king have so many outs, so we can just easily give that up. We'll just fold that out of position. 10-8's definitely an open. As I said, I like to get tricky with these sort of hands, early-ish positions, and outplay the opponent on the flop, and or flop a huge hand and just barrel to a non-believer. So obviously we flop a flush draw. That ace and jack really helps our range for a c-bet. We can call or raise this board. I feel like this player is leading out usually weaker than... I mean, like, they just flat, so they could have ace jack. So we can just smooth call here. I think being in position, we want to take control of the pot, and we don't want to bloat the pot now, because if we get shoved on and we have to commit all our chips as a 33% favorite, that's not really that fantastic. Now, obviously, any king or club helps. We're getting 2.4 to 1. Plus, if we hit, we can probably get another few dollars. So I feel like calling here is okay. Folding here is still fine as well, but... So now it's one of those situations where we can check behind here. Are we going to get any ace-x to fold? Probably not, unless we bet, big. So let's go ahead and do that. If we do get called by ace-jack, ace-10, I think there's not much we can do, but I feel like I don't want to just check behind. I know it seems like probably a leak in my game, but I feel once that player checks the river, I would be value betting ace-jack there. I would be value betting ace-king even. Maybe ace-queen definitely. So let me know what you think. Opening with the ace-5 off. And the 5-6 definitely. Pretty much opening, 80% of my range in the small blind. Open end straight draw. There is a flush draw, but I will be leading into this, pretty much always. I don't feel like check calling is as profitable. We can check call now, depending on the bet size from the opponent on the turn. But we can put this player on queen 9, jack 9, ace 7. We can check call. And now we'll put out a blocker bet so we can get that jack 9 and all that sort of stuff to call. If they have jack 8, then we'll obviously be considering folding to a raise. But that bet on the turn usually is super strong or, semi-weak. A6 suited, definitely be leading out. Let's see what they had. So they had queens. Sick. They just flat called pre. You got to raise with that sort of hands. You can disguise queens. I'm a big fan of doing it, but not against the small blind, because, yeah, small blind range can flop so well versus the queens. They're not getting any more value there from me if that, river isn't a 3. I'm not leading on the river with anything. If that river was, a queen or, another 4 or bricks the river, I'm check folding 99.9% of the time, unless I have a solid read that they're always, folding a river. We can 3-bet the jack 10. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of doing this to this opponent here, who seems to be relatively playing the same sort of stats. We can lead into this. Yeah, I'm pretty big fan of leading when we flop something like that, because if we check behind and give them any outs for a flush draw, we want to make sure if they're playing queens or something like that, that they're, considering a jam here. King Jack will be fold. Queen 4, no, we'll just fold that. King Queen's out of position. Yeah, let's see if we can see a flop. Now I can check behind here to disguise my hand and then hope for a blank river and jam. But I feel like that king's probably hit their range. So let's bet enough so we can get it in on the river, basically. If they have King Jack, then that's sick. Whatever. King Queen, that board is pretty dry for everyone here. I would expect a lot of overcards always, but we can't obviously continue being first to act. Let's get rid of that. Get 3-bet. Nah. We'll open with the King Jack. 4-7 just for fun. We get a short stack to call. Let's just c-bet. That's a really small, like disgusting. That ace is really good for us to barrel on again. I know it seems pretty spewy, but that ace really helps us. Our perceived range from there. Let's call with the King 10. Let's check back here. King Queen beats us. I just want to, have control of the pot with a hand like King Jack. Can we value bet here? King 8, King 10, pocket 8s. Yeah, let's do it. Queen Jack suited, definitely an open. We're getting priced in with a 10-7. It's always a call. Folding King 10. Yeah, we were getting huge odds. I think we were getting like 4-1 or something like that. Calling with pretty much any two cards that are connected in some way. It's checked around. We're obviously just check folding. That board's disgusting for our hand. Three-way, I think we can lead here. Yeah, I feel like we can lead with the 8s. Queen's probably the only thing to be scared of. If we get called, it's usually a queen or a draw of some description, so we can easily give up on the turn, but obviously that turn's fantastic. Obviously 7-9 gets there, but obviously we just want some sort of Queen X hand to continue. So I feel like our C-bet 3-way on that board is fine with 8s. We're only really scared of a Queen X hand. And if they are super weak, we can fire the turn and fire the river, depending on what card hits to get them to fold. But you have to make sure your opponent is able to fold top pair. That's the whole point of, being able to understand what their range is and then how to act accordingly, because there's no point in, triple barreling when they're not folding top pair. I'm going to squeeze here with the ace-deuce suited. The read is this player's folding a lot. 3-bet and an unknown. I'm happy to get it in. Do I bet more? I think so. I'll check with the ace-jack. I can check here. Pot control is also good multi-way. We can fire the turn, I guess. I guess they could be checking back King Jack. But it's super weak. If no one's leading out on that board, I'm happy to fire the turn with equity. We're folding ace-jack here, obviously. Any spade beats us. 10-7's a call. We're calling with ace-5, getting priced in. It's an okay-ish flop, I guess, but multi-way, we're just looking to sort of check call maybe. If the turn is a blank for their range that we're going to perceive, we should be okay. That's a huge lead. We're just out of there with that. Players make it easier for us to fold when they bet pot on that board. Open with the 7-8. Queens we're going to be 3-betting. This player is quite new. Yeah, can't really find them. They've disabled their search feature. It's a good board for us to see bet. We can check back here, but I feel like we can take the pot. We can, I mean, the argument is if you see bet there, you're only getting King X to call, but that's not true. You can get 9s and 10s to continue as well. Ace Jack on this board. Maybe we can call once. Obviously an ace helps. Jack not so much, but ace high is usually okay here. Oh, actually, I'm going to fold out of position. Check with the 6-7. Wow, played that. They played that hand very passively. It's the biggest, one of the biggest hands you can have. Well, that flop anyway. Besides flopping the nuts. Not that we would be calling raises, etc., but still. Fold the king 6. See, bet that jack high dry board is definitely fine. I'm gonna smooth with the jacks here sometimes. I just don't want to smooth right now. Not against this player. I feel like we can get him to fold a lot. We don't want him to, call with ace 10 or something like that. Or go to the flop with ace 10 when we're just smoothing the jacks. Obviously we're beat to 5s and all that sort of stuff with the ace king, but there's not much we can do. We do take it with the ace king high versus ace queen, I guess. Queen 9, right? I called the flop c-bet with gut shot, fair enough. Three bet here. We haven't got any stats showing what they're 3-betting with. We can call. I mean, we're getting 2-1 on a call. If we flop something great, we're in definitely good shape. So I prefer doing this here. This play looks like a nit though. I feel like just calling here is fine. I would normally 4-bet here, but this player is very tight. Depending on the c-bet, okay, we can call maybe once. Pretty much instant c-bet. We'll give this one up. 3-bet with the king queen. Fold that. We'll check back here. Pot control disguises our hand. Queens. What's happening? Let's lead out. I have to put in a decent sized 3-bet with the queens here because I think we'll check back with the king queen. Because it just, I mean, obviously the button's raising and then the small blind just flats. So we want to be able to squeeze really, really well with the queens. I'd squeeze there with probably ace queen suited, not ace jack suited. Probably be more inclined to just call and play the flop. 6-8 will raise, unknown. 8-9 flops pretty well against the stealing range of a small blind. So let's see what we can do with that. 8-3 is a fold. This is an interesting spot. We're always calling here. We get check 2. Usually getting check 2 is weak. Ace jack suited versus a 3-bet. This player hasn't 3-bet. We're just folding. We'll smooth call with the kings. No, not against a shorter stack. Raise it up. We can semi-bluff quite easily on this board. We can fire again here. We can also check. Ace high could be good. We don't really want to suicide triple barrel on this board when they're calling the raise on the flop. And give up. Ace jack. I'm going to give respect. So 8-9 high. Probably not going to beat anything. I'm just giving this hand up. Ace 4, we can 3-bet against an unknown. We'll fold the King 4. It's a good flop for us to lead on. King, Queen, and all that sort of stuff. We'll typically flat call here. I guess we can barrel that turn as well. And we just give up on the river. I feel like they do have King, Queen. Oh, wow. So if we fired the river, yeah, we probably could have got them to fold. I think we were, like, that play is totally fine. Like, they turn, obviously, a flush draw and we fire. Yeah, interesting spot. King 9 will just flat, suited. Flush draw on the flop. Queen 3 is a fold. Let's just flat here, out of position. It's a good turn card. I think we're just check calling again. Let's smooth on the button with jacks. Let's get a bit tricky. So they had 5s on that board. Let's call once with the jacks. That ace is either great or horrible for us, depending on if they decide to bet again. We'll soon know. Yep. Ace 7. Nah, not against those guys. So what have we got? They're folding to 3-bet a lot. That's all I need to know. You can see I'm 3-betting with queens in almost the same spot as I am Jack 10 offsuit. So it's one of those spots where if they make a note that I'm 3-betting with Jack 10 off, and then the next time I have kings, queens, or whatever, they're going to be pleasantly surprised. We're getting almost priced in here. We're getting almost 3-1 with a call. This player's 3-betting with, we don't know. That's a very small 3-bet. 4-bet, sorry. Do I raise? Do I raise, call, a jam? Do I get that tricky? Nah, I think we'll just leave that. We're not playing 200 NL, are we? We get a pair on the turn. Let's lead out. Obviously a gut shot as well. I was so close to putting in another bet then. It was actually insane. What am I thinking? Who do I think I am? King 8 will open. Fold the Jack 10. Jack 9 against short stack is a no. We're getting priced in on the... Oh, wow. We get some like really small 3-bet and called short stacks. This is gross, but I have to do it. Yeah, I have to fold there. I was like considering putting a squeeze, but I feel like they're only ever jamming on me. And then King 8 high does not play well against, you know, their jamming range. Even ace high wrecks us. So I hope you've enjoyed this video so far, guys. We've been getting into some pretty tricky spots. Even though it's 10 and L, there is, you know, there's a lot of strategies you can use to exploit each villain, and it tends to work pretty well. Obviously, you can't be right all the time, and that's the whole point of poker, is to, you know, be more of the time right than more of the time wrong. That's the learning experience that you should be willing to go through. If you can't handle that and you feel like you're losing or you don't deserve to play because you're making bad decisions, then just think about it. Like, you can't always be correct. You can't always determine what cards hit, but you can always be sure to make more right decisions after you've honed your skills. Ace Queen to a 3-bet. They're 3-betting with 10-10, so we're calling in position. We normally see a snap check here or a definite half-size lead. That is not the best turn card. King Jack. It's a decent. So so we have obviously aces and kings with queen. They check. He checks the turn. It's like setting us up to call when he has tens full, or he either has queens or something like that. But I feel like queens would check here. I just feel like we have to pay this player off. 3-betting. They could have queens. They could have jacks. King, queen. Oh, wow. That's sick. That's unfortunate. I feel like we probably should fold there a lot more once they check the turn. They played that hand super well, though. Obviously, they got lucky with it. I could have 4 or 5 bet pre. They just outflopped us. But we made the right decision by calling with ace queen because we can see that they're 3-betting with hands like tens. Let's raise this up. Ace 3. Just check. Isolate the limper. We can check with the jack 10. We've got a gut shot to the nuts. Let's lead out on this board with a flush draw and back draw straight. Let's check behind. We can call once here, probably. Deuces, getting 3-bet, in position. Oh, it's marginal. I'm folding. Obviously, it's a good river. I think we can lead out here. Ace 9 will be calling. Calling again. Consider folding the river depending on the bet. That's huge. Let's see. I've only got a 9 kicker. It's pretty gross. It's a good size bet on the river too. Just scare off hands like this. Just give that up. What did they end up having? Ace 10. Interesting. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Tune in for the next installment of Zoom. And hit like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Comment if you like on my different hand ranges and playing and all that style. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time.